So for your test, there are 28 questions. It's worth 70 points.
Is there gonna be, you can do like the ones on this chapter first and then the other ones? Or?
I will.
Okay. Sounds good.
You need to know the name. Oops. Hit the wrong button. I just gotta give me a second. You need to know the name of the old eroded mountains on the east coast of the U.S. You need to know what the continental divide is. It's in the Rocky Mountains. We talked about that. You need to know about windward and leeward. Windward and leeward.
And the rain shadow or just that?
You need to know about windward and leeward. I'm not going to read the question directly to you. Everything is either multiple choice or fill in the blank unless I tell you otherwise. Like this next one is going to be a listing one. So I don't know. You need to be able to tell me a handful of states that are in the Corn Belt. You need to know about Dixie.
About Dixie or states in Dixie?
You need to know about Dixie. It's a multiple choice. So, and the breadbasket. Also a multiple choice question. You need to know about, short answer, states in the Rust Belt. Need to know about agribusiness. You need to know about NAFTA. And the last one for the things we covered today, you need to know about cultural divergence. And what was the other one, Jado? You just said it.
Diffusion.
Diffusion. And that's all the North American stuff. Now we'll go back to, they're not in order of which we did them, because my computer puts them in alphabetical order. So, you need to know the name of the 5 Great Lakes. That's the thing we're doing from Canada. Emma Mugley, what was my favorite thing we talked about when we talked about Australia?
I don't remember.
You did a presentation on it.
Coral Reef.
The Great Barrier
Oh,
Reef.
Yeah.
Like what is it?
Yeah, you need to know about the Great Barrier Reef. You need to know what a monolith is.
What?
Monolith.
Are these all?
Multiple choice. Or fill in the blank. In Europe, Short answer question. When we talked about Europe, we talked about peninsulas. So you should be able to give me a handful of peninsulas.
Like maybe.
Yep. We talked about 5 of them. You don't need to know all 5, but you should know a couple, 2, 3. Need to know what a polder is.
What chapter was a monolith in?
That was Australia.
And then the boulders in Europe.
It's in the
What was
Netherlands.
the one before the monolith?
Great Barrier Reef. You need to know the deepest freshwater lake in the world. It's in Russia. Now, the other thing in Russia is the name of the famous church. In South America, the name of the longest mountain range. And the name of the driest desert. And the biggest river system in South America. What's that?
What was that one?
Biggest river system in South America. In Asia, need to know about the Himalaya Mountains. And then the other thing we talked about in Asia is the different types of weather that they have there. So like monsoons and typhoons, you should know about them.
That's it.
Well, that's it for Asia. For Africa, we talked, this is a short answer question, we talked a lot about developed and developing. You should be able to give me a couple characteristics of both a developing country and a developed country. We talked about it in Asia as well. We talked about it in Africa when we talked about sub-Saharan Africa. We talked about it in Asia when we talked about like Japan versus China versus Thailand versus some other places. So that was a common theme across 3 or 4 different areas that we went through. In Northern Africa, we talked about desalinization. You should know about desalinization. We talked about Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and how they have all one unifying factor. You should know what that one unifying factor is.
Judaism, Islam, and what?
Christianity.
Factor.
They have one unifying factor. They all share one thing in common. We talked about the Berlin Conference when we talked about sub-Saharan Africa. And then in South Africa, you need to know about Nelson Mandela and apartheid.
And what?
Nelson Mandela and apartheid.
Apartheid?
Yep. It's a system of government. That's it. 28 questions, 70 points.